The game world of Stunt Island is quite large and detailed. It gives you lots of locations to fly stunts and make movies. And Stunt Island actually consists of 2 large islands plus a few smaller ones. We're going to tour the South Island in this video. I'm going to show you all kinds of different places you can go and just explore on the island, as well as sets to make movies. So I'm going to be using DOSBox X. If you have not used this, this is a great way to get Stunt Island running. It's really easy to use. All I have to do is go here to Quick Launch Program, find my game files, and go ahead and run it. And there we are. Just to show you a couple of my settings, I have video set to fit aspect ratio, scalar's normal 2 times, and we'll do the force scalar. So, I don't want to be in the competition, but this is the main screen, and we could go to the airfield and grab an airplane and just start flying around. But I think it's going to be more effective to tour using the pterodactyl, which is kind of unexpected maybe if you have never seen the pterodactyl in Stunt Island. But I'll go to set design so I can set up my start location. And we're going to start right in this area. And I'll show you why here in just a moment. But if you've never used a set designer, it's really quite simple just to do something like this. We'll add the pterodactyl in slot 1. We'll stick it right here and fly the stunt. Don't even need to save it. And looking at the game map, you'll see this is called Stunt Island Headquarters. And you'll see why here in just a moment. Let me go ahead and go full screen. Okay, so this is my pterodactyl. So it spins around. You can look any direction, and by clicking and dragging, you can move forwards and backwards. So it's great for touring around. One thing I think I will do real quick before we start doing this is go to the menu here, go under mouse emulation. I'll change my sensitivity in the x-axis down to about 25. That way it doesn't spin quite as easily, and I can control it better. But you'll notice this is a building. It's sort of crudely drawn, but it looks a lot like the production building when you first come into Stunt Island. And if I move around here, this one looks a lot like the post-production building from the post-production screen. So all the screens that you use to navigate within Stunt Island are actually represented here in Stunt Island headquarters on the island itself. If I come on over here, you'll see something that looks like a control tower. And sure enough, this is a control tower from the aircraft, the airfield scene. And this one's kind of funny, but if I get over here real close, look at this little sign. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. It says "Leave on Ferry." So that's meant to represent the ferry screen. So you have to use your imagination. It's a little crudely drawn, but the game screens to navigate Stunt Island are actually represented here. So that's kind of a cool way to do things. One more here, I believe, is this is your little cabin from the housing screen. So that is Stunt Island Studio, and right next to it, sorry, that's Stunt Island Headquarters. Right next to it is Stevens Studios. So it has a little house with a water fountain in front of it. Nice little Stunt Island sign here. Then a whole bunch of sound studios. Oh, that's a weird glitch. Interesting. Okay. Then the SI water tower. Some type of little town set here. And then this little backdrop. If I come around to the front side of it. Yeah, it's an interesting little backdrop there with a few buildings in front of it. But this is Stevens Studios and Stunt Island Headquarters. Yeah, pretty interesting. Good starting places for some movies, and some people have done that. So I should take this opportunity to mention that I'm using the 800% detail add-on. This came out about a year ago. This is highly recommended to put this on your system if you can. And this allows you to see detail a whole lot. You can see a whole lot farther, and you can see better detail. So it's essentially like cranking up the detail from 100% to 800%. So thank you so much to Alberto Marnetto. He's the one that came up with this, and I will link it down below. Okay, moving on. This is the airfield that you start at when you go to the Stunt Island airfield screen. And it's one of 3 airports in Stunt Island. This one is by far the smallest. I mean, it really doesn't have anything. It's just a runway. So if you want to make a movie there, you have to add to the set. Right next to it is Lynch Canyon. It has a little reservoir, a little bridge here you can fly under, and then all kinds of places here within the canyon that you can fly around and do chase scenes or all kinds of things. So yeah, Lynch Canyon. Hopefully you've seen some cool movies using this part of the island. It's definitely one of the better, probably the best natural feature on the island. It has this little snow-capped peak. My favorite use of that snow-capped peak was for the Boz movie. Okay, just backing out a little bit, you can get a better view of Lynch Canyon from above. And in some ways, it's kind of simple. It's not too complicated, but you can still do some great movies and scenes here. Okay, we'll move on to the most forested part of the island. This is the jungle, and man, if you can look at the trees, there's just trees everywhere. Stunt Island uses this cool hierarchy system to where the forest is made up of groups of trees, and groups of trees consist of individual polygons. It's pretty cool, just the way it was set up. And right here in the jungle, we have the army base. This is called Fort Stinson on the map, and it has several vehicles, barracks, and other buildings. So it's a good little set to start from. Nice little place here, right here in the jungle. But this area with all the trees, this jungle area, I use this as the backdrop for the chase scenes in my movie Pit Jet, just because it's such an interesting piece of geography there. Over here then we come to the aqueduct. This is probably best known in Stunt Island for the fly down the aqueduct stunt, where you take the Pit Special and fly it down here, but it has other uses too. And yeah, very nice little piece of scenery. And right up here, if I can just move up here and look back down, there's a little lake with a dam, and that's connected to a power plant. So a little hydroelectric plant here. And it's pretty detailed. When we get closer, you can see kinds of wires and towers and transformers and all kinds of stuff. So this is the power plant. And it has a road here that connects us to the largest airport in Stunt Island, LAX, or LA International Airport. This is modeled after the real world LAX. As you come in here, it has this little overpass for planes, which is kind of cool. And then the road branches off, connects to the terminal here. And right in the center, you have this famous sculpture right in the middle of LAX, as well as the control tower, and then the terminals. Those are connected to taxiways, which are connected to the runways. And some of the runways have this approach lighting at the end of them, which is a interesting feature, I think. And if we look at the runways, it's runway 9, which means it's 90 degrees. The other end is 270 degrees. And those runway numbers have changed. Modern day LAX, I forget what it is. I'll flash the picture on the screen here. But yeah, because of magnetic declination has changed, the runway numbers are different. But LAX is a great setting for any type of commercial aviation type movies. And LAX has changed some through the years, so I'll flash that picture up on the screen again. But I think it has 4 runways now instead of 3, and looks a little different. But this is still a great representation of the airport back in 1992. Okay, now you'll notice that in Stunt Island, each of the North and South Island is separated by these pyramid-shaped islands. Pyramid-shaped mountains. And it's kind of nice because it breaks up the island a little bit and just allows it to have different locations. So the South Island does not have any towns. It's kind of more remote, a little bit more open. The North Island, which I'll do in a separate video, has all the population. But let me highlight 2 more of the tiny islands. This is St. Andrew's Castle, used for the Castle Storm stunt. I haven't seen it used in really many other Stunt Island movies. Too bad, it's pretty decent set. And this land here is actually solid, so to speak. You can land on it. And finally we come to Alcatraz, which I think is a decent representation of the actual island of Alcatraz. I've been there before, but I don't remember exactly. But yeah, it's kind of neat. I don't know who made the decision to have Alcatraz on Stunt Island, but quite interesting. And incidentally, pretty much all the objects in Stunt Island, you can actually export the islands in like object format, 3D Studio format. So you can open them up in Blender and different programs like that. So I've had the Alcatraz Island in Blender and just open it up and view it. But anyway, that is an overview of the South Island in Stunt Island. And it's got some great places to film your movies. And I think it's just really cool how detailed the game is and how you can set up a stunt or set up a movie pretty much any location that you can imagine, add your props, and just one of the things that makes Stunt Island great. So thanks for coming along with me.
Cut.